PBR textures, what are they and how to use them? In this video I will show you the what, the why and the how of PBR textures, so buckle up because we're starting right now. Physical-based rendering, or PBR textures, have revolutionized the way we approach rendering and material creation in computer graphics. PBR textures are designed to mimic real-world material properties accurately. This allows us to create highly realistic textures. At the core of PBR textures are the set of texture maps that collectively define the visual characteristics of the material. Those maps typically include albedo, or base color, or diffuse map, the map that represents the color of the surface. Normal map encodes surface details to create an illusion of complexity without the additional geometry and therefore render times. Roughness map controls how rough or smooth the surface appears. Metallic map defines whether the material is non-metallic or metallic. Ambient occlusion map simulates how ambient light is occluded in corners and cavities, adding depth to the texture. Those maps are not always there in every single texture, so if you don't need normal map or AO, it's fine. The why of PBR textures starts in the reason why some renders look so bad. Is it the lighting? Yes, but this is a different story, and maybe I'll make a separate video about it. But the next biggest reason is the lack of good textures. And PBR is the great solution to this problem, because it gives us very realistic results. And the best part is that it is a standard in some industries, such as gaming and visual effects, so we can use it anywhere. Need I say more? In recent years, softwares like Substance Painter, Quixel Mixel and Adobe Dimensions, don't forget the Blender of course, have given us, the artist, the ability to make PBR textures with ease and flexibility. But before we go deeper in this, I need to ask you to subscribe, because we need to get to 500 subs. Now the most important part, how to make PBR textures. And for this I'll use Mixer. Yes, I've talked about this great program in my other videos, because it is that good. It's free, and there is another one called Bridge that has all those free assets, textures, decals, imperfection textures, brushes, and much more for us to use, so I would highly recommend downloading it. But I'll use Mixer for today's video. If you want to follow along, you can do that in any other program. The workflow is pretty much the same. So what is the first thing you need to do? You need to get a model, and I'll use a monkey, also called Suzanne, with the default UV. And yes, you need to make sure your UVs are good for the PBR textures. Now import it into Mixer. Let's start with adding an aluminium texture. You will see why later. Now add painted metal texture and add a curvature mask with the settings to let some of that metal show. Now let's add some imperfections. The effect is subtle, but it's still there. The last thing I want to add is some rusted metal on top with, you guessed it, a curvature mask. The last step is just to export it into Blender, and there you have it. And of course you can download any texture you want and just import it into Blender. Quick tip by the way, press Ctrl-Shift-T with Node Wrangler enabled and then select your texture set to add it all at once. So now you'll end up with this beautiful texture set that suits nearly every 3D software. And yeah, that was all for today. If you like this video, press like and subscribe. But for now, bye bye.